Thanks. Good evening, and welcome to the Board of Trustees meeting, January 8th, 2019. I'd like to take a motion to adjourn the executive session and open the public meeting. Trustee Miller, second. Deputy Mayor Patel, all in favor? Unanimous. Okay, we'll do the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know, as we start the year, we read many things in the paper about what happens around us. And some of those things are important as far as safety goes. Safety is the most important thing I think public officials have to be very aware of. And I would like to pray that we open up this year and have a very good year as far as, the safety and security and prosperity of our residents. And most importantly, too, is our first responders. We read in the paper there was another New York City firefighter that accidentally lost his life rushing to a fire. So we always want to pray for their safety and well-being and that of their families. Okay, there's a lot of things the mayor gets to do that are tremendous amount of fun. But this is a little bittersweet. The people that we're going to recognize here tonight, volunteers for the village are so important. They are what makes the village run. They bring people together. They work on very difficult projects. They get major initiatives off the ground. And they really help form what the village is all about to the community. And we have three people here that are going to be leading the awards. I told them earlier that I hope it's not for long, because their service has been tremendous, and we'll miss them. So we don't want them to go too far or for too long. So I'm going to bring up Javier. Javier, do you want to come up? I have a proclamation, Javier, for you. Javier de la Garza has been a member of the planning board, and with grateful recognition on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Dock Ferry, we want to recognize you for all of the great work that you did while on the planning board. I know that you spend countless hours, not only at the board meetings, but afterwards working on different projects and things that come before the board. So thank you very much for that service. Did you want to say a few words?
So it's been my great honor to be on the planning board for 10 years. I was just surprised myself that it's so long ago. I recall how old my kids were when I started. Time passes, and certainly it's been a tremendous experience. I really enjoyed working with board members. It's been my great privilege to work among so many qualified residents and consultants and so forth. And we've had a very positive influence on the village. And certainly my honor. Thank you.
Steve Ruff, fellow board members.
What?
Gotta get somebody to take.
What?
I'll take a picture.
Yeah, I was down to you. Take pictures here.
Smile loud.
Great, thanks. We got a few more.
Yeah, I just want want to say something quickly because I'm the liaison to the planning board. In a couple of years that I've been on the board, Javier has been an invaluable asset to that board, and he will be definitely missed. Javier, thank you so much for all your hard work and your talent and your dedication.
I'm going to bring up next Betty Gilmore. Betty has been a long-standing member of the library board. Bruce Campbell. And we worked together many years. A lot of good things have come out of the library because of the work that the other board members did. So with grateful recognition on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ducks Ferry, I want to present you with this certificate of appreciation for all you've done while on the library board. Thanks.
So, like Javier, the 10 years seem to fly by, but there have been a lot of changes over the 10 years, and for me, it's a great time to be moving on because leaving the library with such dedicated staff, fabulous director, and an energetic and really excellent board is just the culmination of everybody's hard work over many years, and so it's just wonderful to see it. I think libraries are the best thing ever, and I'm just looking forward to seeing all of the great things that are going to happen in the future.
Becky, because we have Becky too.
We should just take the people in there.
Well, then we need a new contract.
I have to go back.
Sorry.
Yeah, somebody else.
Just stay here, just take the other picture of the other people. And then get the presentation, I guess.
I think I gave you the wrong one there, Wendy.
Now on the planning board.
Hey, Mom. This is Becky.
Becky, how are you? Thanks for everything, Becky. I enjoyed working with you. It's been great. You did a lot of work. Things have been so many good changes in the library.
Yeah.
It's really so much fun. Getting there. I love going to the programs.
Great to hear. Of course, yeah.
So with grateful recognition on behalf of the Board of Trustees for serving as a member of the library, we want to show our appreciation.
Do you guys want to come up? I think my daughter's hiding. And my husband Eugene and my son Sebastian.
Aw.
Thanks. And I just want to take a moment to thank all of you. It's been such a pleasure working with all of you guys for the last 5 years, and I'm truly grateful to your support of the library. It's such an important place in the town for me personally, and I know for so many other residents in town. So it's really wonderful the way that you've been able to support the library both in spirit and in funding, which really goes a long way. And I also just want to say how thrilled I am that Elizabeth is on board as our director. I can't believe that it's only been a year that you've been there. She has brought such a great energy and vision to the library, and we are so grateful that she's there. And also the staff, she has such an amazing
reiterate how grateful we are for everything that the two of you have done over the course of your terms. I don't think it's a stretch to say that if it weren't for the two of you, we might not have a library board. And so I really couldn't be more grateful. I feel like you've left us in such a great place to take the library in new directions, and Elizabeth is by far the biggest part of that, and both of you were instrumental in bringing her on. So thank you for everything, and we'll really miss you, and please return my email.
I just want to say a personal thanks to Betty and Becky. I joined the board a couple of years ago and was a library board liaison, and I watched them go through a lot of difficult times, and Betty and Becky were always steadfast and patient and very responsive in helping the library board get through some difficult times. And I was always thankful for them being on the board, and I was really sad that you guys weren't there at the retreat last weekend. Your absence was definitely felt, and your sage wisdom, and you did a real service to the village and the library, bringing it to where it is today. So I really thank you for your service.
Great. Thanks. Anybody else?
Can I say one?
Yes, Elizabeth.
This is just to the board. I thought you would like to hear, we had the board retreat on Saturday, and Terry Kirshner, who is the executive director of the Westchester Library System, at the very end of our meeting, we went around and said what we were looking forward to the next coming year, and what we thought had done well this year. And he left us with the thought that you as a board, he was talking to the library board, is right now at this moment in time, the best library board in Westchester County.
Okay.
So I just thought you guys ought to hear that.
I would have to agree 100%.
People who are really looking to the future of libraries, so I thought you'd enjoy it.
Thanks, Elizabeth. That's great to hear. It really is. The board has, and you have done a tremendous job over the last few years. So thank you very much for all your efforts. It's great. Okay, we have a presentation by Con Ed on the project to change the gas pressure, which is medium to high pressure gas lines from Rivertown Square to Washington Avenue due to an issue with capacity. So who's, you want to introduce yourself? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Luigi Bingo. I'm with Con Ed from Corporate Affairs. I'd like to take the opportunity and thank the board for your time tonight. We do have a gas main replacement project that's coming through, and we'd like to go over it with the board.
Okay.
I have with me somebody from project management, one of our engineers, and somebody from constructions in case there were any questions while we present today.
Now, is this similar to what you just did in Irvington, where you opened up Main Street there?
It is. There are similarities.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with introducing Nick Isaacs, the project manager.
Hi, good evening. So I'm with Con Ed's project management group. I also have Bobby Fleming, who's a construction group, and I have your faculties that are engineering groups, so we can kind of cover all areas when we present this. So we have a main replacement project coming up. It's kind of due to two reasons. As you may have said, it is capacity issues, but it's also we're trying to replace leak-prone main, which is like old main that we have in the system. So we divided the project into kind of look at the map. You can also have like this highlighted map to kind of show you where the phases are. So phase one starts at Stanley Avenue. We had a project last year. Where we brought a high pressure main to Stanley Avenue. Right, Stanley Avenue, that main going up is currently medium pressure. So that area we would like to upgrade the pressure to high pressure, and that's the capacity issue. So currently that main is plastic already, right? We'll just be like raising the pressure of it. So there should should be like minimal excavations in that area. Because the plastic already, we're not replacing, the existing plastic.
So what will you be doing exactly then?
We'll just be raising the pressure, upgrading. We have to cut the main out, right, and just like pressure test it to a higher rating, and then re-energize the main.
So it's just a matter of testing what's already there?
Correct.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, you said that was done, I'm not here to give you a hard time the whole time, believe me, but you said that was done a year ago, so what's happened in the year? That just people didn't realize how much capacity or need for that gas there was at the time?
So the original plan in that area was to bring the high pressure. Now, due to the constructability issues with getting across the stone, we temporarily put that area on the medium pressure to be able to bring out the whole development that's there now. Now, with the thought of later coming back and getting high pressure across the stone to the road, and then be able to bring in the high pressure.
Okay.
So that kind of covers like phase one of the project. Phase two starts at Price Street and it kind of finishes, goes down Hickory Hill Drive, to around Southfield Avenue. Estimate, so here are also like our estimated durations for each part of these projects. So phase two, it'll take us approximately, 16 weeks to complete. And that area is significant. That's, after we bring the high pressure in that area, we want to replace all of our old cast iron and all of our old steel main with plastic. So, better for our system, better for your residents.
Excuse me, will you be going, Price, will you be going along Ashford Avenue at all?
We have plans to go around to replace the main on Ashford Avenue, but we understand, we've been working with Charlotte, we understand that it's a major street, and any work that we do there is gonna be during the summer.
So school is out, so to alleviate traffic.
Right, so like our goal is, minimal impact to the community.
Go on with phase two. You can keep going.
And phase three,
No,
Yeah.
but back to phase
Okay.
two. So for when it's in that area, what does it do to the streets? Like if someone lives on Price, what do they experience when they're trying to get out of their house? Like, do you dig up the whole street and it's paved over, there's one-way streets, or how does that work?
If the street, if a lane has to be closed, we'll have flaggers. Well, actually, we have flaggers at all times. If the lane is closed, then the flaggers will direct traffic the wrong way. As construction goes on, they'll expose about 100 feet of lane in the
At a
meantime
time.
and play behind it.
Okay,
So
so it's
that's-
really just like 100 feet? 100
Correct,
feet,
and then
100
as they
feet.
go along,
Okay.
at least in one section, we won't go on one street, we just do the entire block. And if there are driveways that we may go across, we'll plate those, and, I mean, some circumstances, we may have to do work, but we'll talk to the residents, each resident will also be, send out notices of construction that will be in that area. And if any concern, their crews will be right out there, so we just approach it.
So just to follow up on that, to the extent that in this map, you are going on Ashford, which is a major artery, that you're gonna do it in the summer, you said, but how many weeks would we have what will essentially be a one-way bottleneck on at least part of Ashford Avenue?
None of this map is on Ashford though, right?
Yes, there's, so, the map, the
It's
highlighted
here.
sections now.
After Rivertown Square.
So it's,
This Price.
do one across right here.
yeah, so it's,
This needs to be coordinated with the police department. So when you go, don't have
So the reason
meetings.
why it's not right
Yeah,
now is because
don't
it's
know.
not on the timeline.
Do they know the hours?
That's phase
So
four.
it would be next.
They're allowed
after all.
7:30 to 6, however, in certain
They'll come back and
areas,
present
depending
the
on
Ashford.
the
okay, so it'll essentially be
That's what I'm worried
one-ways
about.
for sections of the streets that are highlighted on this map then.
From now until they finish this part, and then after phase three, you would do the Ashford stuff, but you would come before us again, so we could know what that is.
correct.
I will also say, it also depends on the timeline, if we are able to meet these timelines, and if we could actually get Ashford for the summer.
Right.
I know that you are working with our police department, but my recommendation will be to really identify wisely the hours and during the time of the that this will take place, and then the hours. Just going back to Ashford Avenue and even the area of Rivertown Square, that is a very heavy-duty traffic area during certain hours. So I'm sure that if you work with our police department, there will be a less impact to those type of issues, because we do have a lot of traffic problems in the village during certain hours.
Yeah, we understand that, and to that point, we've been working with other members of your town, DPW and the police department, to make sure that we communicate what the needs will be.
Excellent.
in this area.
Thank you.
How will this disrupt gas service to the various properties? I mean, will they without heat or gas for the stoves, or for how long?
Typically, the way we will work, the new main that we're putting in will stay along the old main until each service is transferred to the new main. Once that happens, so their service may be out for a day, and we'll make appointments with their customers, but the service, there will be no outages by the time, during the time that we're doing construction. So that will be, when I say one day, it's really a few hours, while they do the service transfers. But they'll be in tandem until the last service, on that, say that particular block gets transferred to the new main, and the old main, at that point gets retired. So there's going to be really no outages.
For commercial customers who try not to inconvenience them in any way, we put them in temporary gas while we replace, if we have to affect their service, we put them in temporary gas. For residential services, like, we try to minimize that impact as much as possible. There might be situations where we have to replace the service, and that would be the only time where there would be outage to a residential customer.
But they'll have notice.
They'll have notice.
Also, there was a lot of discussion as to the work. They're doing 100 feet each day, I think that's your, but they cannot do restoration, complete restoration each day, and especially during the winter. So there will be plates, but those plates will be non-skid and they will be recessed, which is different from Irvington, because one of the issues that we discussed at length is the disruption caused in Irvington that I saw every day was, it was a little too much for us to take.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we discussed various ways of limiting, and of course, this is all in, except for Rivertown Square, it's all in residential districts. There's going to be, from what I understand, there's going to be notification of each and every homeowner, so they know when that's happening. We have asked Con Ed not only to have a point person with Con Ed, but also to have a point person with the contractor that's on site. Because from what I understand, the Con Ed person that is running this show is very good, that she's very responsive. However, she's not always at the same site. So we've asked for the contact person on site. And there are various other things that have been requested, even as to times. Although our code allows 7:30 to 6, in some cases that will be shortened. And in case that it may be, so to get the work done faster, we may be able to lengthen it according to the people who we're dealing with, the residents. They may want it longer too, just to get rid of it. So we'll play it by that. Those issues, we'll play it by ear. But there will be coordination, I am promised, with the village.
And with the schools, like school buses and stuff?
That's why Ashford is not being touched, except for the...
No, but the ones in back here. Like the
Yeah,
guys.
that's what we have to sit down with the chief and get what times that they can start, because, obviously there is a time that is very, very crowded, and it's not worth it for them, it's not worth it for us, so we'll coordinate them.
So the 16 weeks are based on the same description that Charlene just shared with us, that there will be work that will be completed as is allowed, but you're not discussing that it's going to be like an 8-hour process that is going to then bring us to the 12, 16, and 11 weeks. So what is the length of the day for the work?
So right now, we're assuming an 8-hour day. That may shift either up or down depending on whether you can work a 10, 12 hours or a 6-hour day. So these are tentative dates, and it also depends on what we find in the area. There's a lot of rock. Hopefully, we bypass those rocks, but this may vary.
No, of course, of course, of course. So all of these are going to be going on at the same time, or is one after the other?
No, we have to work it in these phases to be able to bring the main feed from one area to the other.
Oh, understood.
So as we progress from one area to the other, that's the way that we work.
And now the big question, repaving. Do you just pave over what you've done? Because I know we have, I think in the downtown, we have a curb rule for extensive.
We have, if it doesn't go past the midline, it's only to the midline. If it goes past the midline, it's curb to curb.
It's not like a patch, it'll be like a half a road?
We have a roadway,
Okay.
So, it depends what area we impact. If we impact one lane, then we.
Did you do the whole lane, you don't just do a little patch?
Yeah, no, the whole
Okay.
lane.
And then after Ashford, what happened? Like, what are the plans after that? Is it going towards the downtown or meeting Cedar on the timeline of this at all?
So, depending on, again, where we get Ashford, we get across Ashford, this summer, we're planning on going, north, west, between Washington and some of this, a lot of street names, so I'm sorry. So this area here, this is Washington here.
Yeah.
So we'll go, north, south.
That's cool.
This is going east of Washington, and the eastern
Use
limit.
the microphone still.
I'm sorry. The western limit is Washington, and the eastern limit is. Hillville Road is that
Hillville.
pocket up in the mountain, sort of a dead end area out there. So we can
It's going north towards,
But
Yes,
you're not going further west off that map? That
What's
you
that?
have, you're not, like, you don't know about going west off of that map?
Going west up, we're going up to Washington, and that's it, that's that
That's it.
part, that's the limit.
Okay.
That's the center.
For now or forever?
Well, we're
You really
When are you
tested.
gonna disrupt the downtown? That's what I'm getting at. Like Hastings and everything, if we can know any of that.
You'll know, but
It's not this year.
At this moment.
Not
yeah,
this year.
Not right, not this year.
I think what you've, because I asked the same question, Christie, and I think the answer was that the upgrade was not needed at this point. And that's the answer you gave me yesterday, and hopefully it's the same as today.
While we're talking about the future, let me ask a question. One of the things that's been talked about, and I think there may be some meetings kind of going on at some point, is the possibility of burying wires in the downtown here. Do you coordinate projects so that you would do this at the same time that you do that kind of thing, so that you wouldn't have, the streets being torn up for, electric at one point, and then 2 years later, gas, being replaced? This kind of try and coordinate that? Do you do them simultaneously ever?
We are coming back here to discuss that with the board, I believe it's February 6th. And I'll have these gentlemen all from gas. I'll have the electric personnel with me.
I think you may have just answered my question, and it's not in the affirmative that you would do it at the same time. You understand why we would ask, right? Because obviously.
I ask the same question all the time, but at that point, we'll get into more detail on what it entails when you're burying the lines. It really takes into consideration, you have to take into consideration everything else that goes along with it, any impact on the individual.
Please use the microphone.
yeah, you have to use the microphone if you can.
You can take it off.
You can take it off there.
Okay. So there is an impact to the residences and the store owners when you do want to bury wires.
February 6th is downtown improvement
What you see
district is
going
having a
on.
meeting.
And there's a cost for
And
that
they want
too,
Con Ed there, that's the meeting.
that is associated with that as well. So
It's not on
it's
there,
often met with, although boards like it, met
but
with great
I
resistance.
arrange it.
Right.
So, but we can further discuss that on February 6th.
Thank you. One last kind of question, I guess it's a question. I suppose it goes without saying that safety is an absolute priority. There obviously were some high-profile issues with upgrades in Massachusetts on gas pipelines that led to some tragic results. And I assume you guys are all over doing things the right way.
We are, and the reason why we're doing all these upgrades is to get rid of the leak-prone pipe that's in the ground. We're spending a lot of money year after year to do this. It's a 20-year project. So safety is paramount when it comes to this work.
Thank you.
Was there any estimate on Ashford, how long that's going to take? You may have said it, but
On the Ashford section, how long is that going to take?
All they're doing is, you're just crossing it, right?
Right,
That-
for,
Just crossing it.
yeah,
for
just-
now, for this year, we're just crossing it.
okay. So, I mean, you're talking, it's going to be about 40 weeks, 41 weeks?
It's safe to say we'll be here most of the year on this project.
Okay. I mean, it's important that we make this as painless as possible,
We
so,
understand that.
okay.
We will be in communications with the residents. We'll make appointments when necessary. My office will be in contact with Charlene. We will also give work notices out to the public. I'll also supply them so that you guys can put them on your website as well if you
Right.
have one. They will know that before we come, that we're coming. I'm not gonna sit here and promise you that we're not gonna be a nuisance. Look, I don't know any way to get rid of these underground pipes without being a nuisance where we're
Right,
working.
right.
But that does not mean we can't keep the area clean and safe. So, and if you see something that proves otherwise, don't hesitate to let us know.
So again, phase one would start February
February 1st.
1st?
Yeah, that's our,
Okay. So it's important, I guess we'll have to, if you have recommended communications that we could take a look at, I guess we'll have to get some word
On a
out fairly
Friday.
quickly.
That's the starting
well,
on a Friday.
they haven't gotten the permits yet, so
Oh.
they're gonna get the permits, and when the permits are out, they'll do the notification, and we'll post whatever notification they give us, because, they know where they're gonna be.
Okay.
And
You
as
never
we
got to
move
phase
along-
3.
As we move along the project, we will be spreading those notifications further.
Okay.
And this is a Monday to Friday job, correct?
Well, we would go Saturday also if we were allowed to in certain areas. The more we work, the faster we're out of the town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready, Donna? Spray in front of your house.
Can't wait for the emails.
Great. Well, any other questions
Do
from?
you have any other slides you want to show us?
Because we totally stole you.
You want to see the pipe?
Just so that we mentioned, we're gonna recess plates in, the winter months. We're gonna have traffic control, we're gonna have, flaggers, we're gonna have police where required. We also are gonna have, bi-weekly meetings with Salisbury to let you know on our progress. We're gonna restore as per your requirements, right, center line to curb. And, we are gonna coordinate with the residents if we impact them in any way.
Do you know what side of the street on Ogden Avenue that the line is on? Is it on the east side or the west side? East side?
That's the other portion of this. They're going to have to make test pits to make sure that they're in the right place. Is that not correct? And that, you'll see that before you see the trenching.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
you,
very
guys.
much for coming in. Very
Thanks
helpful.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, I'd like to open it up courtesy of the floor. Would anybody here like to make a comment to the board? Anybody? No? Okay. Public hearing. I'd like to make a motion to continue we're going to have a continuation?
Yeah, open the public hearing.
We'll open the public hearing to consider an application to create a historical district on Belden Avenue as recommended by the AHRB pursuant to Chapter 300-43 of the Village Code. Is Does anybody want to make a comment?
Take a motion to open.
Trustee Taylor, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? Do you want to touch base on this?
No, you
Terry?
can, I mean, it's
Okay.
just, I can give a quick update if you want.
Yeah.
I think this is the fourth public hearing we've had on the Belden Avenue Historic District. There's a number of homes that have been proposed as part of the district. The presentation made, this would create the district, if you were so inclined. The resolution we prepared would create the district. What that means is there'd be certain, when any changes want to be made to homes on the outside, they would need to meet certain criteria. Right now, those would be the Secretary of the Interior criteria. There are guidelines, recommendations, requirements being drafted now, which will eventually be considered by you as a board to be essentially how these houses could be redeveloped. So this is the process of creating the district only. It doesn't approve anything else other than the district. So these homes would be part of the district, would have to follow the rules and regulations right now of the Secretary of the Interior when redevelopment changes, fixing the rules. So I think we've had some comments. I don't know if anyone's here to have any more comments.
Anybody want to comment? Any of the board members have any? Oh, here we go. Just state your name and address.
I'm Charles Unger. I'm here with my wife Julia Unger. I'm just going to speak for us. I live at 30 Belden. We live at 30 Belden Avenue. And I'm really here not to raise any further questions, but just in anticipation that there would not be further objection, that this would be voted on and approved. So more than anything, just wanted to thank the board for their attention to this and consideration of first the platform to allow this to occur, meaning the creation of the historic district, and now the selection of the designated, I think it's called, Belden Avenue, to be the first historic district within these guidelines. So we're very thrilled that this is finally at this stage, and look forward to it being approved. And just again, want to thank them for their time.
Great, thank you for your
Thank you.
comments.
I also, sorry, before leaving, I wanted to mention that Sonia Trajani in our neighborhood has been very instrumental in this, asked that we at least pass along her thanks as well. She had another obligation this evening, another village meeting that she was participating in, so she wanted that to just at least be acknowledged, that she obviously is thrilled to that this was there.
Great, thank you. Okay, do we want to close the public hearing then? Can I take a motion to close the public hearing to consider an application to create a historical district on Belden Avenue? Trustee Nell, second. Trustee DeRozzi, all in favor? Unanimous. Okay. So I'll take a motion to approve the resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Dobbs Ferry designating certain properties along Belden Avenue as the Belden Avenue Historic District. I'd have Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor?
Yes.
Unanimous.
So the next step is to have the.
Procedures?
Yes.
Yes.
Do we have any idea what's going on with that at all, anybody?
I do. Yeah, Steve Tilley was tasked by the LDC to draft the guidelines, and I believe he's working on phase 1 and moving on to phase 2, but since it was imminent, we've been putting a little bit more pressure on him to speed up the process, so hopefully the passing of the historic district will give more impetus to have us review the guidelines sooner than later. I just want to thank Sonia and the Historic District Task Force and all the residents on Belden that were in favor of this and put all this hard work and effort into creating the first historical district. I think it's going to be a really great thing for the village of Dobbs Ferry, and I'm really proud to have been a part of it. You guys all worked hard and deserve a huge round of applause.
And also Trustee Sullivan for spearheading the effort, and Sonia, who's been bird dogging this all along. She's done a great job, and all those involved. So thank you all. Anybody else like to make a comment? No? Great. Okay, I'd like to announce the appointment of Madeline Byrne, Duke Coffey, and Susan Roberts as members of the Ad hoc Beautification Committee, each for a term of 1 year. Did you want to comment?
Yes.
Trustee DeRossi.
We are thrilled to have 2 new members in our beautification committee. We are actually in the process of needing volunteers to remove the greens that they are currently in place on our village. And we are also in need of a chair for the beautification committee. Unfortunately, Mary has moved out of town and she gratefully is helping us as a consultant, but we do need a chair. And of course, there's always need for volunteers. So I welcome anyone interested to please reach out to myself, my email. And we'll be having actually a meeting now in January to try to make some changes and take some ideas, and the public is more than welcome to join us. So we're looking to shake things a little bit and make some changes.
I'll tell you, the village looked great, not only during the holiday season, but during the fall. I mean, it really looked beautiful.
Yeah, the DPW is a
Doing
great
lot of
support to us.
Good work there. And the lights, too, on the trees actually looked beautiful this winter.
Yeah, thank you to Steven for all his help and his team, because if it wouldn't be without them, we would not be surviving.
Thank you.
Great. So I'd like to announce the appointment of Ron DeRusso as chair and Paul Stern as a regular member of the Ad hoc Budget Committee, each for a term of 1 year. Let me thank Paul Stern for chairing that committee over the last year. Did a wonderful job, as they continue to do over the years. And Paul is sort of, is it bi-coastal? He's got a place now on the West Coast, and he's spending a lot of time with his family out there, which is fantastic. And he did tell me, though, that it was 45 degrees the other day when I was FaceTiming with him out there. So, but anyway, he's still going to stay involved on the committee, which is great, and he'll help Ron out with the transition. Larry, I don't know if you wanted to, Trustee Taylor, make a
Well, I think
comment?
I'm glad that Paul's going to continue to serve. Ron's going to be a very able chair. He's been very involved in the village, and has been a participant in the committee. Brings a lot of financial acumen, and I think it's going to be a great contributor.
Great. Thanks, Trustee Taylor. Okay, consider a motion to approve audits number 1 and number 2 for January 2019 as recommended by the village treasurer. Jeff, any comment? Trustee Taylor?
No comment, so I'm happy to make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion, second. Trustee Rizzillo, all in favor? Unanimous. Consider a motion to approve a request from Mr. James Piacentino, Dobbs Ferry Youth Little League, to hang banners for the Dobbs Ferry Youth Little League registration at Gould Park, Memorial Park, and Stop and Shop fences until mid-March. Do I have a motion? Trustee Rizzillo, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? Unanimous. The minutes, December 18th meeting, 2018. Any comments? Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Trustee Rizzillo, second. Trustee DeRossi, all in favor? Unanimous. Reports and announcement. Trustee DeRossi, do you have anything you'd like to?
I do have a very pleasant announcement. Our youth council had their meeting recently this, I think it was on the 3rd, and they shared with us how they were able to provide 27 families with gifts for 60 children as a result of our amazing holiday hustle. As you guys know, that is the purpose and the reason why we have that event, and that's the report that I got. So it was very, very exciting to hear that. They also provided gifts for the children at Children's Village. So congratulations to Barry and the rest of the team because they're really doing an excellent job. Justin, one of our police officers, Justin is very, very much involved, and the Holiday Hustle is his baby, so he's always done an amazing job and continues to do so. Just a quick note that we have our first gym night this Friday, the 11th. I'm not so sure of the time yet. I want to say that it is 7 to 9, but we're going to post some more information on that. And movie night will be on January 25th. And the council is hoping and going to be doing these every month. So please pass the voice, and it's grateful to have our teams join us because, it keeps them entertained. And the council continues to do an amazing job with those two events. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Trustee. Trustee Nell?
Just to let everybody know about what Con Ed was talking about today, they confirmed, this all came about from the Downtown Improvement Task Force. A lot of people in the workshops had been bringing up that one of the things that they would propose to make the downtown better and more shoppable and more livable is to vary the lines. And there's just a ton of rumors going through the village about what that means, how much it costs, like what that entails, what the history is. And so they asked if Con Ed could come and just do an informational meeting about that so that we can try and get to the bottom of the things that are floating around. Because as they said, even I had heard a rumor that it was gonna do this year, they were gonna be downtowns. I don't know where things are coming from, but just to clear the air so that everyone knows what it would entail, and so that all of us know what it would entail and how much it would cost and what kind of disruption it would be. So they're gonna come February 6th at 6:30, and they're going to the library. And the Downtown Task Force will, facilitate it, make it happen. We're gonna have a resident help just organize and ask the questions and moderate it, so it's civil, not confrontational, just informational only. So there's that. The task force is putting together all the information. They're meeting tomorrow to try and whittle it down for recommendations for us for March. And the nominating committee is also meeting tomorrow. So they are interviewing some potential candidates for various positions. And CAB, we don't have any CAB tomorrow, I don't think. But yes, we need CAB, Youth Services Council, Beautification Committee. Library Board now has an opening, and Ally's been, actively finding candidates for that. So yeah, more volunteers. We need more volunteers, simple ways. And just go to docsferry.com, hit volunteer now, and volunteer for the village. And the chamber, I'll talk about it at the next meeting, when their next meeting is. It's at the end, last Wednesday of the month, every month. So I'll see y'all again before then.
So this meeting is February 6th, right?
Yes.
It's going to be here in Village Hall?
No, it's going to be at the library.
At the library, okay.
So it's just, because that's informational sort of that goes there.
Right.
So.
And thank you to the nominating committee. We have a lot of people that are actually coming in for interviews for various positions, which is encouraging, which is always good. Thank you, Trustee Nell. Trustee Sullivan? Trustee Taylor?
Yeah, just one thing, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the DPW and the work that they do, a couple of different things. One, driving down the hill this morning to get an early train, it was really a pleasure to see that the streets have been treated, and that it was a safe, easy drive, which wouldn't have been the case if they hadn't been out working overtime, preparing the roads prior to the storm, and presumably being out and around, because I saw some of the trucks during the storm. And the second thing is, just a little bit of an anecdote. The other morning, I was late morning driving east on Ashford Avenue, and I got to around Briery, and there was a slowdown, so, well, no surprise there. But then as I came around, there was a DPW truck parked on the side, and there, on one of the coldest days in the last month or two, was one of the DPW staff picking up trash along that embankment on the right side of Ashford as you're going east.
That's right.
And as I was driving by slowly, I realized how much trash there was there. Wrappers, cans, bottles, there was an abandoned tire. And when I drove back, an hour and a half or two later, I was struck by how nice it looked. And I just think we all need to appreciate what the DPW does for us and make our own efforts to keep the village clean. But the staff really does work hard to make this a great place to live.
Thanks, Trustee Taylor.
Thank you.
Trustee Wasil? No. Donna?
I'm trying to
Deputy
find
Mayor?
it here. The Tree Consortium, William Kahili is doing a presentation on the Dobbs-Story trees on January 15th. I don't have the flyer with me, I forgot to bring it, so, do you have it there?
We can call it up.
You can call it up.
It's January 15th, 7 PM at Village Hall.
Yeah, that's my birthday. I'm not gonna be there.
May I add something? If you've never met Wayne, and you might not think trees are interesting, this guy is the real deal, has been very involved as an arborist for the New York Botanical Gardens. The village is lucky to have his services, and he's a very entertaining guy. So if you have even the slightest interest, I would encourage you that it'll be interesting and enjoyable.
And Wayne's also, so the task force isn't just asking Con Ed to come and speak about burying the wires, they're asking other people who have, like Wayne has opinions on the trees
Trees,
and how
exactly.
that would
The trees are a
impact the
big
trees.
problem on
Charlene's
that,
gonna
yeah.
be speaking about what that means to the village, and, so they're trying to get like a comprehensive view of what it would mean to do the thing that people wanna do, but would be very hard and disruptive, so that everybody knows.
Believe it or not, trees have something to do with burying the wires.
He has been very helpful. He looked at Waterfront Park in
Yeah.
addition to the downtown, and had some really good suggestions, I think, for us. And in lieu of that, we just planted a couple of willow
trees, yeah.
down
Friends of the Waterfront did that.
at Willow Point there. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Appreciate it. And I think that's it. I have nothing to report.
Happen Z.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tappan Zee. Yes.
Tappan Z Bridge.
Tappan Zee Bridge on Saturday is going to be imploded, I guess, and the detonation.
Both sides of the river will be stopped at 8:55 AM for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, starts
So don't panic when you hear the boom.
starts at 9 and runs to about 9:45 approximately. I guess it's going to sound like fireworks going off, and you'll be able to view it from the riverfront if you want to go down there. I know there's a lot of
I'm excited. I'm
restaurants
going. I'm going.
having viewing parties and so forth.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to go to Terrytown. but
So
from
I
here, I'm
think
gonna be
if
too
you're
close.
It'll
driving,
take you a long time to get home from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I changed my mind
if
after
you're
I
driving
read.
anywhere near that, don't.
I-87, I mean, 287 is going to be closed. It's
Yeah.
just going to be interesting.
Gonna be
Well, and
close.
actually, Metro North is also going to be disrupted
Oh,
for a
right,
period
of
of
course.
time because they won't run trains while this is going on.
Yeah,
Safety, safety.
great. Okay, thank you very much.